Hello, this is Sirrano with the Dallas Pulse News. I am here with...
My name is Jim Hollifield, the director of the Tower Center at SMU.
And you have written some books. What are the name of some of those books?
Oh, books like Immigrants, Markets, and States, a book called Controlling Immigration, a book about trade, migration, and development, many others.
Are they on Amazon?
A lot of them you can find on Amazon, yes.
Okay, good. All right, so I just wanted to touch on some of the things that you said during the speech up there on a panel on immigration. And what this panel was trying to do, or is doing, is highlighting the positive contributions of immigrants in the United States, but there's also a negative part of this, and that was touched on by you. So I noticed when you were up in the podium, you said 19 guys, and you kind of strayed away from who those 19 guys were that Americans refused to stray away from. So we know it was 19 Muslim guys from the Middle East. Just tell me why you strayed away from the content of who those guys were.
Well, part of it is I didn't have time to go into the details. We were limited in the amount of time that we had. But these were people who came here to do harm to the United States, no question about it. You know, this is a dangerous world that we live in. There are a lot of people out there who want to hurt us. Fortunately, we have many very effective government agencies to protect us from those dangerous people, to find them, to stop them before they get here. And the way that we catch the terrorists is by getting them before they ever get anywhere near the United States. So,
right. So, but you didn't want to mention, you just said 19 guys, you didn't want to mention...
19, yeah, and again, these are people who came into the country.
But you didn't want to mention that they were from the Middle East or that they were Muslims, and based on our policies that they hated. You didn't go into that. You just said 19 guys. Was it because you were trying to be PC?
No. I mean, clearly there are, as I said, a lot of people out there who want to hurt us. Some of them are Muslim. Some of them are coming from other religions, other backgrounds. So, you know, I think people know who our adversaries are. They know where the danger is. And, you know, we have to go and stop those bad people before they get here.
And they are bringing a negative part of the conversation to the positive part of immigration, you feel?
Well, I mean, you know, as I said, we live in a dangerous world.
Okay.
And, you know, there's a lot of violence, a lot of conflict, and the United States is implicated in many of those conflicts. So, you know, this is just part of, you know, doing business and being a leader in the world. You know, there are a lot of risks that come with that. But I do want to make a point which a lot of sociologists, economists, and others have made this point. The world is actually a much less dangerous place today than it was 100, 200 years ago. Levels of violence have gone down. Murder rates are going down. So as odd as it may seem, you know, in spite of the threats that are there, we actually live in a much safer world today than we did 100 years ago.
Maybe because people, access to the United States was not that easy.
Oh, no.
And we had, you know, waters to keep us apart, but now we have everybody trying to come in here and hurt us. The access is easy, is making that easier, don't you think?
No. The United States was much more open to immigration in the 19th century than it was in much of the 20th.
We didn't have conflicts as we do today concerning religion and...
Let me just remind you of one thing. You know, the President of the United States, William McKinley, was killed by an anarchist, an immigrant, a foreigner. So, I mean, you know, the world is always a dangerous place. So if you're going to stop those kind of threats, you have to go get those people before they come to hurt you.
Unfortunately, we have an immigration system that's bringing in the people that people are quite worried about. So let me ask you a question you didn't answer. Why are we afraid of immigrants?
Well, I think that if people they are very susceptible to wanting to scapegoat or exaggerate the threats often coming from immigration. And, you know, to be perfectly blunt about it, if you've got good, you know, political entrepreneurs who want to exploit people's fears, you know, you can do it. You can really get people upset.
You don't think the facts that they're presenting are correct? You think it's they're...
Well, I mean, you saw the statistics. I mean, your chances...
Well, I saw these statistics, but there's also statistics on the other side, the drain on the medical welfare system and all those other systems. We saw those statistics as well, so...
Well, I mean, you better go back and check your facts. You know, immigrants are not high users of welfare programs in this country. Almost 95-100% of the people who are here, immigrants, especially the undocumented, you know, they are people who are working. They're here working. So
they have broken the law to be here, laws that the legislators set up in place to make sure that we follow. And these were discussions that happens. And those laws came about that if you want to be here, show a purpose to be here. But if you're not based here on a purpose, didn't you break the law and it's time to go back?
I think we've talked enough.
Okay, this is from the Dallas Pulse News. This gentleman had a lot to say, but now that he's questioned about his policies and his what his thoughts are, he made some comments. Be sensitive to the issue. He stayed away from mentioning the 19 guys were from the Middle East. He said people are not commodities when the whole thing here was about billions of dollars immigrants are bringing in here. So it's funny how people are so qualified and so his list of qualifications went a long list, and as you can see, he was afraid to answer my questions, straight questions, just simple questions that mostly a lot of Americans, real Americans, are concerned about. So he did not have an answer for me, and he just ended the interview. This is Sirrano from the Dallas Pulse News. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.